I guess the volume is up. We'd like to request all our audience to everybody say shh. I want you guys to keep that silence. The final question, candidate number 13 is Abante tayo, Ascenso Tacurong is our city's tagline. As a young ambassadress of goodwill, how exactly would you explain this statement to your generation? Again, Abante tayo, Ascenso Tacurong is our city's tagline. As a young ambassadress of goodwill, how exactly would you explain this statement to your generation?
I am honored to say that Tacurong City aims for the welfare of its people in preserving its culture, promoting tourism, and safeguarding its people. As we look back on our humble beginnings, from a simple municipality to a booming city, we have leaped into its improvement, and it is because of the talents of the people, their interest, and especially the local government unit with their dynamic and progressive leadership that made us celebrate what we have today. Our cultural heritage that should be recognized as a Mutya. I assert that with the imminent Sangguniang Kabataan elections, I want to assert a collaborative leadership with these young leaders as we can bring impact to our community because we are rooted with our faith and inspiring stories that will make us resonate this leadership beyond our borders. Because of Mayor Lechoncito's tagline, Abante tayo, Ascenso Tacurong, let us continue to unite, progress, and prosper as a one city. Abante tayo, Ascenso Tacurong.
Thank you so much, candidate number 13. Now let's have you, candidate number 1. How's the feeling being candidate number 5?
I'm feeling pretty proud of myself since I've been preparing for this pageant for quite a while.
Yeah, that's a privilege that you need to prepare and to put that focus on right at this very moment. Are you ready for that final question?
Yes, I am very ready for the final question.
Good. Listen, the final question says, Abante tayo, Ascenso Tacurong is our city's tagline. As a young ambassadress of goodwill, how exactly would you explain this statement to your generation? Again, Abante tayo, Ascenso Tacurong is our city's tagline. As a young ambassadress of goodwill, how exactly would you explain this statement to your generation?
Abante tayo, Ascenso Tacurong is made up of two phrases. Abante tayo is somewhat an invitation for us all Tacurong nons to join not just the government, but to unite in targeting what the LGU has been targeting for a few years now, which is progress. And when we look at that same goal, when we have eyes at that same goal, then we can achieve progress. What is this progress? It is a progress that is not felt just by a few individuals. It is felt by the over 100,000 Tacurong nons here in Tacurong City. And when we see that goal, when we come together and unite, we can achieve progress. And hence the phrase, Ascenso Tacurong. And so with pride, I would like to invite everyone that no matter small your contributions, just supporting Talakudong, just being present here in Mutya ng Lungsod ng Tacurong is already your contribution in supporting Tacurong's progress. And so together, we should work hand in hand and shout our battle cry with pride and reverence. And so together, Abante tayo, Ascenso, Tacurong!
Thank you so much. Candidate number 1. Now let's have candidate number 10. Hello there. Are you good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The final question is, Abante tayo, Ascenso, Tacurong is our city's tagline. As a young ambassadress of goodwill, how exactly would you explain this statement to your generation? Again, Abante tayo, Ascenso, Tacurong is our city's tagline. As a young ambassadress of goodwill, how exactly would you explain this statement to your generation?
Abante tayo, Ascenso Tacurong is a tagline of our city because of its people. We are diverse, as we live in a heavenly diverse society where unity of diversity plays a huge role in our community. We have Christians, Muslims, and Lumad. As we progress into much progressive city, we see each other's differences. We, each other's pillar, and with the right amount of compassion and passion, we will thrive as a city. We are resilient because in the fair share of dark days, we continue to rise from the ashes and actively help our fellow Tacurongnon to rise in any adversities. And lastly, we share one vision. We call to give back our uniqueness, our rich in cultures, and the unique understanding of its people. And with the right amount of compassion and passion, we will thrive as a city. And as we grow in a much progressive city, as we conquer, it truly cascade our identity that as Tacurongnon, we will conquer, we will thrive, and we were raised from any adversity. That is why our tagline is Abante tayo, Ascenso, Tacurongnon. Thank you!
Thank you so much. Final question is, Abante tayo, Ascenso Tacurong is our city's tagline. As a young ambassadress of goodwill, how exactly would you explain the statement to your generation? Again, Abante tayo, Ascenso Tacurong is our city's tagline. As a young ambassadress of goodwill, how exactly would you explain this statement to your generation?
Our city is nestled in a purpose-teak area where we preserve our culture despite of the ever-so modernization of our world. Now, if I were to describe Abante tayo, Ascenso Tacurong to our generation, this is Abante tayo. We are working as Tacurongnons hand in hand with our government to move forward as a progressive city along with our cultures. And Ascenso tayo, Tacurong, working hand in hand with government gives us a progressive effect. We are progressive effect. We are constantly growing as a city, and that is what makes us distinct from the other cities. And that, I believe, along with our cultures, Abante tayo, Ascenso Tacurong, is a legacy that we should never leave behind in the city of goodwill. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Candidate number 7. Lastly, candidate number 5. How's the feeling? Are you expecting this to happen?
Actually, sir, I'm feeling grateful right now and
Good.
overwhelmed.
That's the attitude. That's a character I need for you right now. And are you ready for that final question?
Definitely, yes.
Good. Listen closely. The final question is, Abante tayo, Ascenso Tacurong is our city's tagline. As a young ambassadress of goodwill, how exactly would you explain the statement to your generation? Again, Abante tayo, Ascenso Tacurong is our city's tagline. As a young ambassadress of goodwill, how exactly would you explain the statement to your generation?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Building a better world is not individual responsibility, but it is a collective goal. With this, we have to unite our government, its people, the Tacurong non, and the different organizations that advocate for a better change, which is the Abante Tayo, Asen sa Tacurong tagline. With this, we can solve problems, we can improve our city, and we can create an avenue for everyone to express themselves, their skills, capabilities, and the strengths of my fellow Tacurong non, especially the young ones. With this, I could see our city leading the progress to success and the winner of success. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Candidate number 5, that ends up our final question and answer. I'd like